What's up, y'all? It's Customized Key, and I'm back for y'all to talk about why I love doing community service. So I know y'all probably wondering, like, why is this grown woman making this video with these big old bows in her hair? Okay, so this bow is actually a result of one of the community service activities that I was involved in. I like to do community service for a number of reasons. In high school, it was a requirement to go to the next grade. So you had to have a certain number of community service hours in order to be promoted, which I think was a great idea. I think every school should require it just because it's a way to force your students to get involved in the community that they live in, get involved in activities. It keeps them off of the streets, and it's just a great way to help them see the value in giving back. Community service has always been a big part of my life ever since I was like, I want to say 5 years old. I was in Girl Scouts. I literally did everything. I was in Girl Scouts. When I was in high school, I was a peer juror for the 51st Street District Court. So essentially, kids who have their first run-in with the law, whether it be for something like, selling drugs, taking drugs to school, graffiti, fighting, anything of that nature. I did that for quite some time, and that was actually something that I really enjoyed because in high school I was just so gung-ho on going to law school. I was so stuck on, trying to set myself up to say that I have this experience. And although it was a great experience, I ended up not wanting to go to law school because what I genuinely wanted to do, I was able to do through community service and community involvement, as opposed to going to law school and paying a whole bunch of money and then not getting paid adequately for what it was that I wanted to do. So I figured that I would just go a different route. So just a rundown of all the community service that I've done that I can remember off the top of my head right now. Like I said, I was a Girl Scout growing up. I did that for many years. I was a part of a drill team, and we did community service with that. While I was in school, I did community service through a multitude of platforms. I was very active in my community, in my church community. And like I said, I did peer jury. Peer jury was bomb. I loved peer jury. If y'all have a peer jury, I would just encourage y'all to do it. In college, I did most of my community service involvement with like kids, and I worked at schools. I ran like art programs. I used to teach. I used to help out with a special needs classroom, and that was actually a lot of fun. Most of the kids that I worked with in the special needs classroom were either illiterate, dyslexic, English was their second language, and they just had to basically be caught up academically. And some had like emotional disparities that impaired their ability to learn, and that was pretty much it. I love working with kids, and actually when I graduated from college, I had set a personal goal for myself to knock out 1,000 hours of documented community service because I was like, you know what? I need to step it up. Yeah, my community service is good, but I need to take it to the next level. So what can I do? Also, too, during my summers, when I would come home from college, I would help out with a fitness and conditioning sports camp for kids that was run by one of my old camp counselors from when I was young. I used to go to Rubber Shop Park, and his name is Ron Moore, so I would work with him during the summers. I have actually some Snapchat videos from when I went on a field trip with his basketball camp to the Taste of Chicago, so I'll throw those in at the end. And I just had a really good time. I also used to help out with this program called Law Camp, and it was essentially a 2-week law program for kids who are interested in going to law school, and it basically helps you to kind of see the ropes of the legal system. So in that program, they take kids to the courts to sit in on court cases. They teach you how to do court debriefings. You have homework during that, but again, it was a 2-week program. The homework assignments weren't hard, but they definitely gave you a lot of exposure to different types of law, what it means to be in this field of law, what it means to, be involved in a certain area of the legal system. And we got to talk to judges, we got to talk to lawyers, public defenders, and as a product of that, it actually turned into an internship for me during my senior year of high school, and I was able to work closely to the DCFS office. I did mostly like secretarial, clerical type of stuff, but I was still in that environment, if that makes sense. So I got a lot of exposure with that. And then for a couple of summers following that internship, I would come back and I would teach the law camp. I would facilitate a portion of the class. So that was amazing. That was great. And now that I'm back in Chicago, I do plan to reconnect because I do want to still get involved with that as well. And then after I graduated college, then I went off to this school, and this is the shirt from it. That's where this bow comes in. So I initially applied to just be a tutor at this school. I never lived on the East Coast, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over here and see what this is about. And I was like, okay, I know that while I'm here, yes, this is where I'm working, but my personal goals, I need to get these 1,000 hours of documented community service. So I know that I'm out here doing something with my life and meeting people and making connections and feeling like I'm making a difference in the world. So as I was working there, it was so funny because an opportunity for AmeriCorps came around. And I didn't know what that was. I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, okay, what is it? And initially they was like, look, just sign up for it. You got to write down your hours from when you come to work and you going to get paid more money. So I was like, sign me up. Now, thankfully, the number of people that applied to the program that was the exact number of slots that they had, so everybody got it. Now, moving on, that's not what AmeriCorps is. AmeriCorps is a national service program where you dedicate your time and your energy and your efforts into making something better. So, like, AmeriCorps has a different, sections that you can go in. So let's just explain it like this. AmeriCorps is an umbrella, right? And under this umbrella, you have things like education, healthcare, community, and, whatever. Adolescent, yada, whatever, preschool, blah, blah, blah. So it's like a bunch of different stuff up under this umbrella of AmeriCorps, and you can pick what section you want to be under, but because this was a school, we were automatically under the second umbrella of education, right? So you document your time there is considered as direct service, and your time there counts. However, what you put into it is what you will get out. So for some people, they were like, okay, I'm just gonna come to work every day and I'm gonna put my 10 hours in and then I'm gonna go home and that's going to be it. For some people, we were required to have 1,700 hours documented in order to receive our education award. So that was kind of like an incentive for people to do it. And, that was that. 1,700 hours is really not that bad. Honestly, if you knock out 12-hour days there, you stay after school, you make those connections, be a part of your community. Those hours will just go by so easily. So moving forward, I decided to start my own after-school activity because I love kids. Mostly because they ain't mine, they don't gotta come home with me, and I can give them back. So I decided to start an after-school activity. Now, this year was a first-year school, so they didn't have any after-school activities. So I was like, why not? Who don't want to come to work and have fun? So I started a volleyball team, right? Shout out to my volleyball girls. I miss y'all. I love y'all, and they are the best. And, just from having that program, one, it did make my days longer, which I didn't mind because all of my kids in volleyball were good kids. I had very high standards for them. However, they rose to the occasion. We fundraised for everything. I had a lot of end of the year events for them. And it was just something that was great for the school to have, for the kids to be involved in. It was a great opportunity for me to make connections with kids and for me to just teach them things that they would need for the rest of their life. Teach them life skills, interpersonal skills, how to communicate, how to fundraise properly, and how to have successful times and adventures, and how to be successful as a collective, how to be successful as an individual, and how to represent yourself as a young lady. As a part of, my involvement with them, we did make bows. We had team bows, and we would wear them on game days. But, it was just something that I really enjoyed. I love my volleyball girls. If y'all are watching this, I love y'all, and I miss y'all. I still got my bow. I hope y'all got y'all's too. But it was just a great time for me to get involved. It was a great time for me to give back. And it was a great time for me to offer something to other people that was intangible, but that they would remember for the rest of their life, that would make them feel good. And that's mostly why I love to do community service. Community service is just a great way to meet people. It's a great way to network. It's a great way to listen to other people's stories. It's a great way to give other people intangible feelings that will make them feel good, that will brighten their days, that will encourage them, that will uplift them, that will just give them the strength to keep going when they might be ready to give up. I think community service is so important, and I feel like if people took more pride in their community and took more time to just give back, even if it's just like maybe twice a month, do something that will enhance the quality of your community, that will enhance the quality of your life and of someone else's life that is not monetary. For me, community service is just something that I just love. There are so many different things that you can do with community service. Community service is not limited to just working with kids. You can work with senior citizens, and I don't know about y'all, but I love old people. They are hilarious. They have some of the best stories, and it just gives you a time to get to know people. So if you haven't done any community service, you should. If you are an educator, if you are a principal, you're watching this, a high school counselor, require your students to do community service. I know that in the school that I worked in, kids had to have community service hours in order to go to 7th grade. So as a part of my after school program, what did I do? I made sure I provided my volleyball girls with that opportunity. We had a food drive. There was a local pantry that they took donations, non-perishables. We got the list of donatable items, and it was a great way for my girls to go around to other advisories. It was a great way for the advisories to compete against one another, who could bring in the most food, and it was just a great way to get everybody involved. We had a really good time with it, and my kids learned a lot from that. They learned how to work together. They learned teamwork. They learned interpersonal skills. They learned that, wow, I never knew that this pantry existed. They learned about another resource that was available in their own school. They learned what basic things they take for granted that means so much to other people who have so little. So if you are watching this, please get involved. If you don't do any community service, just get out there and just make a difference. There are so many non-for-profit organizations that can, help out, that can be of a resource. And I will also put some non-for-profit and some, community service organizations in my description box, because I do want you all to get involved. If you're watching this and you're in another state, I really am sorry if these programs are not ones that are nationally known or, have multiple locations, but get involved. Even if that means just going to your local church, going to a local pantry, boys and girls club. People are always looking for free help. And that's what community service is. It's a great way for you to give back. It's a great way for you to make a difference. And it's a great way for you to enhance the quality of your life and someone else's life for free. I'm Customized Key, and thanks for tuning in with me. I hope that you'll come back for the next set of videos that I'll do. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. And if you're one of my volleyball girls, remember that I love you, and I'll be there for your graduation. Do some community service, get out there and make a difference. Booyah!